it's my pleasure to introduce a gentleman who has been such a blessing to our community here in Atlanta, Georgia. His name is Dexter Peggins. We call him Doc. He has had extensive training in tactical combat casualty care (TCC) and also pre-hospital trauma life support, tactical medical care instructor. He's also a certified heart saver, first aid and basic life support. He is an instructor with the American Heart Association, and he's also a combat medic serving in both the U.S. Army and the United States Marine Corps. So his session is going to be speaking on first aid and life support basics and why that's important to us when we think about this NEST concept. So without further ado, Dexter.
Okay. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, fine. Hey, I just want to say good evening to everyone, and thanks again, Colin. Yeah, I definitely want to talk about the importance of developing your first aid training and equipment for your NEST team. As far and the way I like to talk about it or discuss it would be in two parts. Primarily, first talking about the importance of training and what type of training the members of your team should be acquiring, and also the other area would be the equipment, having the right equipment for the right job. So anyway, I'll start off with training. My recommendation for anyone becoming a member of the NEST team would be there's primarily three primary training courses I would strongly recommend that basically everybody attend, but if not, at least two members of your team should be trained and proficient in these areas. There's a saying that two is one and one is none. So basically, the reason I say at least two, if not everyone, is or two or more rather, is because if that individual who's trained in those medical skills get hurt, they're going to need you to apply that medical care for them. So anyway, when I talk about the primary medical training, I feel, based on my experience in training knowledge that you should acquire. First one would be your basic first aid course. A basic first aid course which primarily focuses on, what I call bumps, bruises, and scrapes. Like little minor injuries, minor things that may happen to you as far as minor cuts, minor scrapes, bruises, and also you'll be trained in as far as how to treat minor breaks or minor fractures. So that's like a basic first aid course, just some of the basic stuff, focusing around some of the more common injuries that someone might sustain day to day. The second area of training, I would strongly suggest that that everyone on the team, or once again at least two members or more, acquire would be training and certification in CPR AED, certified cardiopulmonary resuscitation, and learning how to use an automated external defibrillator. Basically, AED and CPR goes hand in hand. When we talk about someone getting injured or hurt, there's a saying that's basically it's two things going to kill you the fastest, and that is a loss of blood. You bleed out, nobody's able to stop and control that blood loss, or your heart stops beating and it's no longer pumping and you're no longer breathing and all the other stuff. So those two are primarily the things that's going to kill you the quickest. So with that said, the third area of training is stop the bleeding or trauma medical care. That training is going to focus on preparing you to treat injuries resulting in which you are losing a lot of blood. Basically you're bleeding to death. Your basic first aid training normally doesn't go into that. Stop the bleed training, and also another course that gears towards that is called tactical emergency casualty care. It gets into teaching you how to put on tourniquets, how to wound pack, that is, pack those areas where you're losing a lot of blood, but you can't apply a tourniquet, how to apply chest seals, and how to do those things that's going to prevent loss of life from you bleeding to death. Just real quick, if you sustain the injury to like a major blood artery, major blood vessel being an artery, your life is going to be over with in a matter of a few minutes, probably less than 5 to 6 minutes. So basically, as a member of the NEST team, should you go into a situation or should you yourself become a casualty of something that's going to result in serious blood loss, you need to know how to stop and control that bleeding. You can't replace the blood, but you can stop further loss of blood, and that's going to sustain life, hopefully until the emergency medical services or EMS shows up. So those are the primary three training courses I feel as a member of your NEST team you should be focusing on. Your local American Heart Association, you can get your basic first aid and CPR AED training. That's normally free, through American Red Cross. And most areas, you will have a local American Red Cross that you can acquire to sign up and get that training. As far as the stop the bleed training or the TEC, Tactical Emergency Casualty Care, that's something you can seek out. You can definitely contact myself. I do provide that training, and also we have folks on our team who can provide that training to you as well. Basically, we can come to you if you're not able to find a local trainer. But once again, that's Stop the Bleed and also Tactical Emergency Combat Casualty Care. The other area I wanted to talk about real quick is equipment. And basically, there's a saying, if you carry a gun, you need to carry a tourniquet. We're all part of NAAGA, the organization, or maybe you're not a part of NAAGA and you're listening in on this discussion. But if you're part of that NEST team, you're probably going to be carrying some type of firearm. So if you're carrying a firearm, at a bare minimum, you should be carrying a tourniquet. Okay. In addition to that, I would strongly recommend that in addition to that tourniquet, you also carry what we call an IFAC. That stands for Individual First Aid Kit. In that IFAC, normally you want to have tourniquet, chest seals, quick clot, combat gauze, and pressure dressings. Those are the things that's going to help you stop that loss of blood or stop that bleeding. And basically that's designed to treat yourself. Okay. As your team, in addition to that, as what the individual member is carrying, in addition to that, I would strongly recommend as a team that you have a team medical kit or team trauma kit. And in that team medical kit, that would basically consist of more tourniquets, more quick clot gauze, more pressure dressings in order to treat multiple casualties. The IFAC is basically for you to treat one person. But if you come across a situation or you're helping to respond to a situation in which you have multiple people injured, you're going to need multiple tourniquets, multiple everything. So as a member of that NEST team, and you're functioning as a team, you should have a team trauma kit or team medical bag that someone on that team is going to be responsible for making sure that when you guys roll out, that bag is coming with you. So basically, in summary, that's basically what I would say as far as, medical care, as far as medical training and medical equipment for your NEST team. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email or contact me or call in. You can reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to assist you in addressing any of those areas. But once again, training and equipment. You can't go out there empty-handed. And if you go to a gunfight, expect to get shot. So just keep that in mind. Hey, Colin.
Yep, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the information. And there are a couple of questions that were here. Just understanding that we have members of the community that are nationwide here on this call. Are there any places that provide free or low cost first aid training, or is there a website that one can go to find places in their area?
Well, as far as, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the most part, as far as free medical training, I would say start off first with your local Red Cross, the local Red Cross chapter in your area, because they provide, that's what they do. They provide medical training, CPR, AED training, basic first aid. As far as the other type of training, which I was referencing, stop the bleed training, sometimes you might have your local emergency management agency. They run what they call CERT or Community Emergency Response Team training. Sometimes they'll offer that up, and even sometimes local law enforcement will offer that up. But that would be something you would probably need to contact either your local county law enforcement or your local county emergency management agency and see if they have any training that they're offering. And normally there's no charge when they're offering that training up.
Awesome. Okay, and you may have answered this maybe directly or indirectly during your talk. But there is another question that says, do you recommend carrying a tourniquet with you at all times, given the number of firearms in our nation, and how many tourniquets would you recommend?
Okay, well, I got to, yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay, well, I'll just be real direct. We have a saying in the emergency medical field, you should have a tourniquet for every extremity because tourniquets are only used on extremities, arms and legs. You got two arms, you got two legs. You could so in that exclamation, I would say you should really have like four tourniquets available to you to be utilized. You might have one that you're carrying on your body. You might have another one in your vehicle or a couple in your vehicle or your home where you got quick access to. But realistically, I know no one is going to be walking around with four tourniquets on, attached, somewhere in their pocket or what have you. But I would definitely strongly recommend at least two. Because you could sustain an injury to your leg and your arm. Brachial artery in your upper arm, the femoral artery in your lower leg. You bleed it out. You only got one tourniquet. Okay. Two would be what I would recommend. You can simply take it out the pack, run a rubber band around it, stick it in your pocket. They sell these little devices where people have these wraps where they wrap them around their ankle. But that's something that's real easy to just stick in your pocket and continue whatever you do day to day. But the short answer to that question is yes, and I would recommend at least one, two. Two is one is none. Going back to that concept.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate that. Thank you very much for the information, and also for the listeners on the call. Just know that we will have training videos, and we will offer training in the future via NAAGA TV. So we will have video assets that you can play back and actually be able to see how to apply a tourniquet, right? Learn how to put on a chest seal. So those video assets will be created. Again, we're still in the infancy of this, but we wanted to get the information out so that you can start to think and contemplate on what your situation is and the situation in your family and around your community, so you can start to at least have some knowledge behind the NEST concept and emergency preparedness. So we will be definitely getting you more information on the topics that we spoke about. And this is one topic that you definitely need to address, and that's first aid and trauma care. So we appreciate you, Dexter, for all the information.
Yeah, and before we go, I just want to say one thing. If anyone, if you want to reach out to me via email, and want some ideas on recommended equipment for your trauma, your team kit, or your individual first aid kit, feel free to shoot me an email, and I'll respond back to you with what I would recommend that you have in your kit.
Okay, and what's your email?
Thank you. My email is Still Standing 7, one word. That's STEELSTANDING, the number 7. Still Standing 7, all small caps, at gmail.com.
And I'm just sending it through the chat right now.
Still Standing 7, the number 7, at gmail.com. STEEL, standing, STANDING, the number 7, at gmail.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.